Alright, today we have what appears to be a Ryobi chainsaw in a box. Let's see what the customer's got here. They've kept their directions. Looks like they've been using some true fuel. This is some good stuff to use if you're going to store it. It stores really well in the fuel tank. Doesn't varnish and become quite as nasty as straight fuel. They left us some bar oil. Ooh, I don't think the customer's going to see out of those anymore. That looks pretty rough. Ethanol shield, 2-stroke oil. So they've obviously been mixing some gas as well as using our pre-mix stuff. Let's get this out of the box here. Ooh, looks like they have taken their tip guard off. Go ahead and get this out the way. So it does appear to be a Ryobi chainsaw. It's actually in a Ryobi box here. We need to first see if we can't start this thing, just to see. It's picking up fuel. So there's some fuel in it. Make sure our kill switch is in the on position. Choke. Safety first, set your brake release so we don't have any issues there. Don't want to be cutting up my workbench. Alright, it's a good sign. It's got a healthy pull to it. Feels like it's got compression, so let's just see what it does. It did start. Alright, let's take the choke off. Normally these chokes are two things. When you pull them out, they're going to set the choke and they're going to bump the idle up. When you return the choke button inward, it's going to turn the choke butterfly back to the open position instead of closed, but it's going to hold that throttle up. When you hear that click, when you push that throttle, it's going to release it down. So I'm going to reset that high idle and we're going to see if this thing starts. Alright, now we know it runs. We probably should check the air filter first. We'll open this up. Definitely, we're missing a little piece of it here.
Yeah, we're missing a fourth of it.
So, these air filters get old and they just kind of crumble over here when you touch them.
Hey, doesn't that remind you of the Red Max Weed Eater?
Yep, sure does. Alright, it looks like he's been running this with the partial filter missing for a while. If you look down in here, you can see all of the dirt buildup. You see some on the outside of the carburetor here. This is pretty normal, but that hole's been in the filter and he's been ingesting fine sawdust for a while. Really not good for a motor. We'll try and clean that out the best we can. But right now, it bogs pretty bad. We're going to make some adjustments to it. I've got my son over here. He's going to give me a hand. We've got our throttle adjustment, our high speed, and our low speed labeled on here. We're going to start with our low speed. We're going to do this by ear. He's going to help me out with this. I'm going to do a very small adjustment. Alright. Off camera, I attempted to adjust this a little bit just to see, and this is the tool that I chose to use. There's some little bitty splines inside of here.
Hey, isn't that the one that we used from the Red Max video?
It is. They come with several different kinds of tools like this. You can get them all off Amazon. This is a spline tool. This one, if you look closely, you can see is a flat side on the side of it. And this one is what we would refer to as a Pac-Man. It's hard to see, but if you look down in here, there's a little notch. Makes the end of that look like Pac-Man over there.
And
after taking my blower here and blowing some of the dust out of here, I could see why my tool wasn't properly engaging. There's actually a flat spot on the side of there. So I'm going to give this a try, see if I can't get this to drop on here like it's supposed to. This tool seems to be slipping on there as well.
that's kind of cool.
The Pac-Man tool here is actually engaging. I can feel that I've shut the jet. We'll go ahead and go half a turn, 1 turn, and a quarter of a turn to get me started. I'm going to see if I can't leave my tool in here since I've had some trouble getting it engaged. So let's fire this back up and
see what she does.
Alright, it cranked and died when I had the choke on. That tells me it probably wants a little bit more fuel. I don't know if my tool's positively engaging like it should, so we'll give that a try again. Alright, we can hear this bogging when I hit throttle. That's a bad sign. That can actually destroy a 2-stroke motor by running lean. Add a little bit of fuel. Seems to bog down on me there, so let's bring this throttle screw up a little bit. We'll end up bringing that back down, but it's going to make adjusting this carburetor a little easier. Alright, we want to listen to the RPMs and find that peak RPM. Adding fuel, it's dropping down, so we'll lean it out a little bit. This is just fuel mixture that we're messing with. RPM's coming up. Coming up enough for starting to engage the clutch. And now we're dropping back down. Open it up. There's our peak RPM. And we want to add a little fuel to that. See if we're a little bit closer. Let's bring this idle screw back down. That metallic sound you hear coming from this side is actually the clutch hitting the drum. Sounds like a dinner bell over there. We want to back that down so we don't hear that so much. Let's see where we're at for throttle response. Pretty good. I sense a slight bit of hesitation in it. I'm gonna add just a little bit more fuel. Now we have the low speed where we want it. I'm going to get my tool fixed on the high speed here. We're going to run it wide open and listen to it. We can always go back and adjust the low speed mixture if we need to. Get a little bit of bog there, give some more fuel help. That takes the bog out of it. There we go. Nice quick response. When you get it right, you'll know it because the idle will drop down to where it needs to be very quickly. One final adjustment. All right.
Pretty good?
Sounding pretty good. When I was running it wide open and opening that screw, you should have noticed it gets a very deep sound and it sounds a little unhappy. So you'll see as I was turning it left, the sound changes quite a bit. It gets a very deep sound. Started turning it back down to the right, richen it back up, and the RPMs came up and it really started to scream and sound happy. Where you want to be on the high speed is right on that verge. What you're hearing is you start feeding it more fuel than it can consume, and it loses RPM and it gets kind of an unhappy sound, but you want to be on that rich side of it. You have to remember, these are a two-stroke. This oil inside the fuel is the only thing lubricating it. You're squeezing this throttle and it bogs down, it's not getting enough fuel. If it's not getting enough fuel, it's not getting enough lubrication. It will destroy this engine in a matter of hours. If you're having to fight with throttle and squeeze it and get it to pick up RPM, it's running too lean, not enough fuel is not enough oil. So on the high side, when we're running wide open, we're going to find that point where it starts to drop RPM and sound a little unhappy, which means we're feeding it more fuel than it can take, and we're going to tighten that screw back up just a little bit until it starts sounding happy. And that's what tells us we are as much fuel as we could possibly send it without loading it up. This saw should cut just fine under a load. If you cut it, if you adjust the screws this way, you make sure you have plenty of fuel, it should cut under a load just fine. We need to get the customer an air filter on this thing, and that wraps it up for this chainsaw. Oh, one other thing. Always make sure your saw is oiling. You can see it's spitting it out the bottom here. This chain is well lubricated. It's a good idea when you crank it up to make sure that it's slinging some oil. If you run these without oil, this chain gets hot, it stretches, it tears up your bar right in this area, the tip of it. It will tear that bar up, stretch that chain out, and destroy that in 30 minutes or an hour of cutting if you're even lucky to get that long out of it.
So is this a chain lubricant?
Yes. This is bar and chain oil. It's got a little pump behind here.
Oh, what's a bar?
It. This is your bar right here.
Oh.
And the chain rides on the bar.
Cool.
We can actually make another video about some chains, teach you a little bit on there. I hope you guys listened and learned something. This technique works for pretty much any chainsaw, but we happen to have a Ryobi today. Again, lots of different tools. Get yourself on Amazon, look up carburetor, chainsaw adjustment tools, carb adjustment tools. You'll find a lot of different styles. You can normally get a multi-pack that's going to do everything you could think of for about $15. And this adjustment that we just did here, it probably cost you about 40 or 50 bucks at the shop. So save yourself some money, learn something while you're doing it.
So I guess that sums it. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to see another video, watch our Red Max TRZ 30S carb adjustment. So